Today we are talking about one small gland which plays a huge role in the body, and that is thyroid. So if you're struggling with weight or brain fog, hair fall, thyroid might be the cause for this. For those who are new to the channel, my name is Dr. Roberta and I'm a naturopathy physician, and I focus and I address the root of imbalance and disease within your body. And on this type of platforms, I create content on health and wellness which will help you lead a healthier and happier life. So what exactly is the thyroid? The thyroid is a small butterfly-shaped gland which is located in front of the throat over here, and it plays a major role in metabolism. It's like the ignition switch for your body, and usually produces the thyroid hormones which we know as T3 and T4, and for doing that it requires two major nutrients, and that is tyrosine and iodine. Now thyroid, even though it's small, it's so important in the body because every single cell in the body will require thyroid hormones. It's responsible for the burning of calories, for producing of proteins, for metabolism. It's important for all the metabolic processes, including proper digestion, fertility, ovulation, and so much more. So when the thyroid isn't working properly, something feels off. What happens in hypothyroidism? Hypothyroidism means that your thyroid gland isn't producing enough hormones. So you can think of it like a slow Wi-Fi connection. Everything in your body will take longer to work. Your metabolism, your digestion, even your brain functions will take longer. So this can happen because of two reasons. Either first one, the thyroid gland isn't producing the hormones, which is called the primary hypothyroidism, and second one is that the pituitary gland in your brain isn't signaling the thyroid to produce the hormones, and that is called secondary hypothyroidism. And the most common one is going to be the primary hypothyroidism. Now, what are the signs and symptoms of hypothyroidism? And these are one of the most important in diagnosing hypothyroidism. First, we're going to have the fatigue, constant tiredness, weight gain, irregular menstruation or heavy bleeding. We will have brain fog, high cholesterol on the blood test, dry skin, cracked heels is another symptom, feeling cold all the times, and as well depression can be some of the signs and symptoms of hypothyroidism. So now let's see what are some causes why this happened. First, we know hypothyroidism will happen because of a deficiency in iodine intake. Now, this was very common a couple of years back, but then because of the new iodine revolution, everything started having iodine, the iodinized salt and the food. But of course, there are some areas in the world where iodine is still deficient. So first is going to be iodine. Second, we have something called the subclinical hypothyroidism. And this usually is diagnosed when the TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone, which is secreted from the pituitary gland, is above 2.5 MU per liter. So usually people with subclinical hypothyroidism will present with other symptoms like hypertension, high cholesterol, high C-reactive protein and homocysteine levels in the blood. Second, and very important in today's world, is stress. Because the stress hormones, the cortisol and noradrenaline, what they do on the thyroid is that it will suppress it completely. So that means the hormones are not being secreted. It will as well impact the conversion between T4 to T3. So T3 is the active form, that is the one which will get inside the cell. So when T4 is not converted into T3, that means it won't really have the effect on the body. Fourth one is selenium deficiency. Our thyroid gland will have the highest amount of selenium compared to any other type of tissue in the body. So selenium intake is necessary for promoting the thyroid health. Fifth one is pregnancy. Now in pregnancy, we are aware that the demand is so much higher. So in pregnancy, we need at least 50% more iodine for meeting that demand, right? So that's why iodine supplementation is required. And not at least we will have toxins and drugs. We have all the endocrine disruptors like chemicals, pesticides, and some of the drugs will interact and affect the thyroid hormones. If you suspect hypothyroidism, you will usually go for a blood test, and the doctor will do a TSH blood test for you, and that is thyroid stimulating hormone. Now, usually we say that if your TSH level is above 5 million international units per liter, it is considered hypothyroidism. 15 to 20 years ago, the American National Academy of Clinical Biochemistry dropped the upper limit from 5 to 2.5 MIU per liter. And this was shortly followed by the American Association of Clinical Endocrinologists. And under these proposed guidelines, the doctor was supposed to follow the new ones, diagnosing the hypothyroidism if it's more than 2.5. And this was completely a game changer, because suddenly tens of thousands of people were diagnosed with borderline thyroid and could be treated. So this new guideline was not so easily adopted by the doctors and labs, and they still stick to the old diagnosis of 5 MIU per liter. And this is something to think about, because even research is proving that the fertility rates will even be greater if its TSH is below 2.5, and so many benefits are there. So it's really time to consider your blood results seriously. But there is another problem, is that if your TSH is below 3, that means your thyroid will be normal. But then here's the tricky part, is that the TSH can actually be suppressed in the body, either by stress or by chronic inflammation. So test results on TSH can really vary, and interpretation is interpretation can vary a lot. So that's why it's really important to do a full panel of thyroid, including the TSH, including T3, T4, reverse T3, as well as the thyroid immune antibodies. And of course, to take in consideration the signs and symptoms, because what the body presents is more accurate than the lab results. Now, what are some natural ways you can support your thyroid from your home? First one is going to be that you have to nourish your thyroid with a good diet. And especially nowadays, as I mentioned before, the hypothyroidism does not happen because of iodine deficiency, but mostly will happen because of autoimmunity. That means your immune system is overreacting, and that can be because of a number of reasons, including for the chemicals, the toxins, endocrine disruptors, and so much more. Now, when I say that you have to nourish your thyroid with a good diet, it means a diet filled with selenium, iron, because iron is a required mineral for synthesis of hormones, thyroid hormones, and zinc. So some of the sources with the highest amount of selenium will be brazil nuts, sunflower seeds, and brown rice. When it comes to iron, you can take dark leafy vegetables and lentils. And zinc, you will have a good source in pumpkin seeds and lentils. Besides this, you will want to follow an anti-inflammatory diet, which I made the video and you can go and watch it. I'll put it up here. Second, you will want to reduce your stress level. So there are so many ways that you can do that, and one of the easiest is abdominal breathing. Just take a couple of minutes and do abdominal breathing every now and then during the day. You can start doing yoga or different meditation practices, and maybe walking or type of physical activity will definitely help. Stress is really an important aspect that has to be reduced. You will want to avoid gluten, especially if you have the autoimmune thyroiditis, because gluten can trigger the inflammation and worsen the autoimmune effects in the body. And here also comes the leaky gut or the permeability of the gut. We will want to fix that, because again of the toxins which can get absorbed in the body and trigger your immune system. So that for this you can take fermented foods, as well as probiotics. Prebiotics are exceptional for that. Lastly, you will want to consider some supplements or natural supplementations. First one which I will recommend is ashwagandha. Ashwagandha will help in stimulating the hormones as well as reducing the inflammation and bringing down the HPA axis signaling, meaning reducing your stress levels. Second is selenium. Selenium is great in activating conversion between T4 to T3 as well as reducing the inflammation. Third one is magnesium. So magnesium is well known that is part of thousands of chemical processes in the body as well as thyroid production. Iodine also can be supplemented because depending on where you are or what type of diet you have, but 90% of the dietary iodine is actually excreted to the urine. So please check with the blood test and see if iodine is required, and you can talk with the doctor and see what he will suggest as well. Now, some of the home remedies you can do. First is hydrotherapy, and in hydrotherapy, one of the best practices you can do is doing alternate hot and cold compress, and that is having like a cotton cloth which you can put around the neck. And first one is hot water. You keep it for 3 minutes and then remove it and take like ice cold water in a cloth and dip it and keep it for 1 minute. So 3 minutes and 1 minute, 3 minutes hot, 1 minute cold. Doing this for 3 times, especially night time before going to sleep, will show a significant result. And you might also want to experience and try after taking bath, usually if you take with hot water, at the end you take a quick cold shower. So that will also stimulate your metabolism. Or you can do saline water pack. So similarly, you mix water. If you want cold water with some salt, and similarly you dip a cloth and put it on the throat for 20 minutes. If you do for long duration, 20 minutes, please put a wool pack on top of that so it maintains the temperature for a longer time. Then other thing you can do is essential oil applications. So essential oil application, what you can do is take frankincense oil and lemongrass oil. So you can mix in a carrier oil like coconut or almond, 1 to 3 drops of each, mix it and then apply on the throat region. As well, you can do frankincense and myrrh is also a great combination of essential oil for hypothyroidism. Exercise is also a great thing, especially neck movements is to stimulate the blood flow to the area. And then in yoga, we have specific asanas which will focus on the throat areas like Sarvangasana or Bhujangasana and so much more. Your thyroid is small, but it's powerful. So if you experience inexplicable weight gain, fatigue, brain fog, don't ignore it. Getting the right tests, eating the right nutrients, reducing the stress can really make a big difference in your life and as well as your health. Have you ever struggled with thyroid issues? Please let me know in the comments below. And if you like this video, you found it helpful, don't forget to like it, subscribe and share it to someone who needs to hear this. So until next time, stay healthy and happy.